All right, let's go on to see what the key benefits of teletherapy are. So the first one is convenience. Clients don't have to leave their home. You don't have to leave their home. And some of my clients, most of them were between the 3 to 5 age range. They did not want to put on shoes for their sessions. Absolutely okay. There are no transportation concerns. Since they get to do therapy in their home, you don't have to worry about a schedule, about getting somewhere on time, getting stuck in traffic. I had a lot of parents who were working or who had more than one child, and driving the child who needed therapy to the clinic was sometimes difficult for them, or they would have to depend on a neighbor or another caregiver to do that. With teletherapy, that concern is gone. Kids love technology. Well, who doesn't? There are so many opinions regarding technology with children as a whole, and I get it. I am a parent of two. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. I know that I want strict screen limit times for them, but there may be a handful of children today without screens. Almost every child is exposed to a screen today, and most children love the online interaction that they can have with the videos. They can even be motivated by it. Some of them might even focus for longer. They might have greater attention spans with teletherapy. Children are naturally drawn to technology. How we make this interactive and educative for them, that's up to us. Access to providers you may not have had ordinarily. Now, this is especially for those in rural areas who can access therapy from home instead of going to a clinic. And ordinarily, they would not have had access to certain therapies, which they do now. If they need a specialized treatment approach that there's just a few qualified therapists who can provide, teletherapy can connect you with those specialized providers. Comfort level. Some children may feel more comfortable at home. They might like having therapy on the screen as opposed to being in a clinic, or maybe just not being as comfortable as having the therapist in their home. So this comfort level can greatly be increased by teletherapy. Built-in social distancing. With our recent worldwide health concerns due to COVID-19, teletherapy has become highly popular, and it is a very successful service delivery model that keeps everyone safe with built-in social distancing protocols. More emphasis on family and caregiver education. So we've already discussed these in the past few slides, but again, it is a key benefit where you actually involve family, involve the caregiver, and they are educated on what the process is like and how they can actually carry over that therapy from the screen into their home with their child. And the last one, fewer cancellations. Sometimes due to a sickness or not even of the child, it could be that the parent is sick or the caregiver is sick or their sibling is sick and they are not being able to be driven to the clinic because of that reason. With teletherapy, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about them being stuck in traffic, them not being able to be driven to their sessions. And usually teletherapists send out reminders. So the Verge platform that I am actually using, it has inbuilt reminders to send to to the families when the session is scheduled. So when I schedule a session, the family is sent an email reminder, and there's also an email reminder sent 1 hour prior to the session. So I may have a session on Wednesday and I get the reminder on Monday. Great, lots of time for me between Monday and Wednesday to forget about the session. But 1 hour before the session starts, which is a good enough buffer, the reminders are also sent. So you can try and play around with your video conferencing platform and see if that they have that ability or not. All right, I think this was the top answer in one of the polls, the common obstacles for teletherapy. Let's face it, teletherapy has a ton of advantages, but it has brought along with itself its share of obstacles as well. Technology being the first one. Families may not be as tech savvy as you might want them to be. They might take time to log into the session or navigate the system. And some areas might even have poor quality internet connection, which may disrupt the session. Attendance. Surprisingly, this might work to our disadvantage. Sometimes people forget about the sessions simply because they're sitting in the comfort of their home. They don't have to leave to physically go to a clinic. It's easy to forget that you have a session scheduled. Family communication. Now, not everyone is good with emails and phone conversations. In-person communication is not happening so they might not be on the same page for many things. Dealing with attention problems and negative behavior, we can actually club those obstacles. So a lot of the OTs who are working in school districts or in the clinics, you might be lucky enough to have sensory and motor equipment. There might be a gym. They are inbuilt, they are equipped to deal with attention and negative behavior problems. But what happens at home? You're kind of dealing with difficult children in their home where it's easier for them to throw a tantrum because, of course, it's their natural environment. How do you deal with that? That is one of the biggest obstacles. You have to make use of things that you have at home. They might not have a trampoline. Some might not even have simple things like a swing. So dealing with that is definitely an obstacle. Dealing with negative behavior. It's difficult to do virtually as opposed to in person. So here and again will come the parent education piece, the family education piece, having communication with them. Addressing motor and sensory needs, which we just spoke about, you can make do with items available at home, but it may or may not have the desired effect as actual sensory motor equipment. Completing evaluations. I actually spoke to a bunch of therapists about this, and although evaluations over telehealth are getting easier, in-person evaluations are still always preferred over virtual ones, because what a therapist's keen eye can observe in person is different from what might be visible on camera.